What in the... All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's get going here. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties here. We're going to kick it off right now. They're not working properly. No, he's not talking about the morning call. Okay, sorry guys. Let's get going. Last night's session in the U.S., same sort of thing, sideways drift, absolutely nothing going on. We did have a bit of a spike after the initial sell-off there in the morning. We had seen right at the beginning of the session, we had seen ISM numbers that came in at 53.2 versus expectations of 55.5. They came out a little bit later in the session, and that's about 10 a.m. or just after 10 a.m., maybe closer to 11 a.m., where you see the spike higher. They came out and they corrected the number to 56 on the ISM number, and then about another 10, 15 minutes later, they came out and recorrected the number down to 55.4. I've never seen anything like that. Apparently, there's a glitch in the software, but either way, the market caught a little bit of a tick up, about to flatline on that, and literally just moved out to the right from there. I mean, it was a total non-event of a day. Again, absolutely nothing happening. Again. So we continue to watch this low volatility grind. I actually saw something on Twitter this morning about the beta of the market right now, and the where it is versus historical standards, and it's absolutely at rock bottoms right now. So I think it's really quite an incredible statistic, and I can't remember the last time I've seen markets just kind of not do anything for so long. Look at the Asian session. We had Shanghai and Hang Seng that missed yesterday, so yes, possibly playing a little bit of catch up. Hang Seng up just over 0.5%. Shanghai up close to 0.25%. We did have the HSBC PMI numbers coming out this morning out of China, which rose to a 4-month high of 50.8, beating estimates. So that's 2 data points in a row out of China that we've seen that have been slightly better than expected, and moving to the high end of recent ranges. So that's definitely the first sign of some sort of stagnation in the data, just getting worse and worse. So we did see the Chinese banks and shipping stocks that outperformed on the back of that. We had some of the mining shares that continue to come off in Australia, along with retailers. And then we saw the industrial exporters, tech stocks that traded a little bit better out of Tokyo. There was a story out of Tokyo that a lot of these pension funds are going to start to move out of their allocation out of such a high level of bonds, obviously because of no yield, and more into equities. So I think that also kind of gave the market another leg up this morning in the Nikkei. All right, let's move on to, I'll just get a little chart here from B of A Merrill. It's talking about falling iron ore prices due to slowing demand out of China, and you can see there everything from property investment down there on the bottom right, which is really starting to blow out, and you can see the real divergence in demand and supply in the iron ore market there in the top right. Obviously, top left is actually the iron ore and steel prices. And really, so this just kind of gives us a bigger picture, and as long as the property sector continues to wane as it is, and I think that I think that we're probably in the beginning stages of that. We're probably going to see iron ore prices under pressure until some of the miners start to cut production. So, it's definitely we're moving into a point of difficulty for, I think, some of these diversified miners, where they have to start to make those tough decisions on whether or not they're actually just going to take the strategic view to cut earnings, so that they don't totally kill the commodity that they're producing for. All right. No corporate action out today to speak of. In fact, there were a couple downgrades this morning. We had Anglo's target price in London that was downgraded by Goldman Sachs, I believe, to 1180, which is a hell of a long ways below here. That's down three pounds. And Billiton's, I think, that came out and said 18 or 18 and so. Say that again? 1820 they came out with their target price, and I believe they put them on neutral. So they cut Anglo's to sell 1180, Billiton's 1820. I believe it was a neutral target price on Billy's. So that was the only thing that we saw this morning. We saw the Japanese monetary base a little bit less than expected this morning. Like we said, we had the PMI numbers. They were better than they were the 4-month high, but a little bit weaker than expectations. We've got unemployment in Spain a little bit later. We've got construction PMI numbers out of the UK. We've got the unemployment rate for the Eurozone. We've got CPI in the Eurozone, and we've got factory orders later today in the States. All right, let's get into the maps. This morning, a little bit, there's so much to look at kind of over the weekend, but as of today, there was a little bit less to kind of focus on. We'll get in here on some of the local stuff. Just have a look. First thing we'll look at here is Discovery, really, which here at about 89.50. 89.50, you can see there we're coming into some support. We basically closed just a hair above that last night. I probably drew this line about 20 cents too high, but either way you get the point. 89.50, there's definitely support there. If we drop 89.50, could be bearish, but at the same token and the same time, we're looking at making a bit of a flag pattern here, or a descending triangle, and I think the way we test this 89.50 level, whether we hold and push higher or break down below that level, is going to kind of give us the next maybe $4 or $5 that we'll see out of this share. I think if we drop that level, we could easily come down and retest 84. And I think if we can push a little off the level to the upside, now we could test recent highs at 95 as well. So watch Discovery in the next couple of sessions. All right, Standard Bank. This one's just getting desperate, looking for a chart to show you guys, because this is not that telling. But Standard Bank, you can see here, to an extent, dropping some sort of recent, trend line to the upside. I don't think that this is, I don't think there's a hell of a lot that you can take out of this, to be totally honest. But I think this thing probably, if it does continue to pull back, will probably at least come down to test the lows in the range here at 135. We made this breakout. What I'd really like to see is to see us come back and test the breakout down here about 130, and probably be a nice little place to enter on the long side on some Standard Bank. All right, Sasol finally gave us some sort of a relatively convincing breakout. We had a couple head fakes where we got over by about 60, 70 cents here. On maybe only one breakout a couple weeks ago, and just couldn't really push higher, but the pullback's just getting less and less. And we're really pushing, finally made a push to the upside there. What we're going to look for is really, breakout of the height of this channel, from at least from this sort of level here. So we're looking for $30 minimum upside, because this is 570, potentially even $40 to the upside. So 630 to 640, somewhere in there, is going to be our price target on Sasol. All right. ShopRite. ShopRite dropped out the bottom finally of this little head and shoulder pattern. You can see there we just hadn't really been able to close below it. I think we closed a couple cents below it, on this green bar a few sessions ago. But either way, we finally managed to drop out of the bottom of this. We actually, closed well off the lows. But the bottom line is if this thing can hold below 165, I don't see any reason why this thing can't come down and test south of 155 over the next couple weeks. And, and the last one I'll show you is Able here. We talked about this one the other day. This one obviously the other day called a downgrade out of Moody's. There's all kinds of pressure on this thing. I mean, they've got cash concerns. You've got You've got the bond yields that are really starting to take off here, and that's all just putting pressure on the equity here. And I think if we drop from 8, we're going to probably drop the height of this channel to the bottom, which would take us down to 660 on the target and Able. So just be very careful if this thing slips below 8 in the next session or two. I don't see any reason why we can't really start to unwind here in Able, and it'll put massive pressure on them. They may have to come in and do another capital raising. They definitely have to do something to kind of quell investor fears. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot. Brody, could you see it on there? Okay, was it fine?